Hi, today we're going to go through 15 things you should know before you move to Colorado Springs. I'll help you seem like a native once you get here. Be sure to stay tuned for the very last one where I'll reveal a local secret that we all use so we know what directions we're pointing to when we're going around the city and the area. You know, every week we put out a new video about living, working, having fun in Colorado Springs, so be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit that bell so that you're notified of new ones. You know, we have so many people coming to Colorado Springs. We love to chat with you, so send me a text, an email, or voicemail, and let's get in touch and let me answer questions for you. So today we're going to start off with a bit of history. We're going to go back to the founder of the city, who was General William Palmer, who was a Civil War veteran, and back in Pennsylvania, he was a major railroad developer, and he was sent out here to explore for new routes in the Wild West, and he actually ended up founding the Denver and Rio Grande Western Railroad. And as he was exploring the Front Range, he came across the conjunction of Fountain Creek and Monument Creek and thought it would be a great place to start a city. So that's where he laid out the city with some friends. He ended up donating over 1,270 acres and made the land available for multiple parks. He helped found Colorado College. There's a statue with him right in the middle of downtown where people have to drive around him. There's a high school named after him, and right downtown there's a park named after him. So he is one of the major players in Colorado Springs history, and we still revere him to this day. The next thing is the most obvious thing you notice when you get here, which is Pikes Peak. Now, Pikes Peak is what we call a 14er. It's over 14,000 feet at 14,115 feet. And even at that height, it's only the 30th highest in the state, nowhere near the highest. But it is the most famous. It's known as America's Mountain. And from that summit, a young English professor from back east was teaching a summer class at Colorado College, got to the top of it, and was inspired when she got back down to write the words that became a poem that was later turned into the song America the Beautiful. So that's another famous thing about Pikes Peak that not everybody knows. Now you can drive to the top of it. There's it's probably the highest automobile road in the United States. It'll take you right up to the top. It's a windy road, so if you don't like looking over edges, you might let somebody else drive that one for you. There's a new Summit House coming that they're building on top to replace the one that's been there for over 50 years. It's going to be spectacular, and they will still make their world-famous donuts up there. The third thing you need to know about is the elevation and how that's going to affect you. The official elevation for Colorado Springs is 6,035 feet, but that's at the conjunction of the two creeks, which is, of course, the very bottom of the valley. Everything else is higher than 6,000 feet. So the oxygen levels are 20% lower than they are at sea level. So be sure to take it easy when you get here. I would recommend don't go to Pikes Peak the first day you're here. It's going to be interesting enough to get used to the lack of oxygen when you're here. Be sure to drink plenty of water too. That will help fight off the elevation headaches that a lot of people get. The fourth thing about Colorado Springs is it's also known as Olympic City, USA. We're the home of the Olympic Committee, the Olympic and Paralympic Training Center. Over 20 National Olympic committees are here. Over 50 national sports organizations are here. And the new gem downtown is the Olympic Museum, Olympic and Paralympic Museum, which is a spectacular museum, one of the most highly rated or anticipated buildings in the entire world, according to architects last year. So if you get here, definitely check that out. It's just an incredible experience. And with all those Olympians around, they're not the only ones. We are a very fit city. In fact, Men's Fitness ranked Colorado Springs the #2 most fit city in the United States and the #3 city for a top sports town. There's over 100 miles of on-street bike paths, 120 miles of urban bike trails, and over 60 miles of dirt trails for riding and hiking, walking and running as well. So lots of activity. If you're not in shape when you get here, they'll probably pick it up. Just start slow, take it easy, drink lots of water. That'll be a big help. With all those athletes around, #6 that I want to mention is it's a pretty casual dress town too. You'll go into the grocery store and see people in their bike outfits, their running clothes, their hiking boots, just wherever they came in from. They don't bother to change to go into anywhere public. Now, if you are in a place that's going to be wearing ties and dresses, you'd probably want to adhere to that when you're at work. But the rest of the time, it's pretty darn casual here. Another thing to do with clothing is #7, and that is dress in layers. This is a good idea in the city, and it's critical when you're out recreating in the mountains and so on. The idea is the weather's going to change, or your temperature is going to change so much that you want to have something, an extra layer for the coolness in the morning when you're starting out that you can take off as you warm up or as the sun gets higher, and then as you cool off, you can put it back on. So we do this a lot. You'll see a lot of people with jackets around their waist, taking layers on and off throughout the day. #8 is Garden of the Gods. It's the most popular park in the entire country, according to TripAdvisor. My advice for you, if you're going to go there, if you're in the summer, try to get there before 8 in the morning, before the crowds come in, before the heat comes in. You'll be able to get a place to park and take a hike into the central garden zone. It's got a paved trail in there. You walk right underneath the Kissing Camels Formation, and be sure to watch out for the white-throated swifts that nest there all summer long, and the prairie falcons that have a wonderful call as they're diving after the prey of the white-throated swifts. If you are feeling adventurous, you should definitely get off the paved trail, walk across the road onto the Bretague Trail, and there's many miles of hiking through the scrub oak forest on a dirt trail, ups and downs, twisting and turning in and out. It's absolutely my favorite trail in the whole city for running or hiking. You can ride your bike into the Garden of the Gods, but it's restricted to an area of the southeast part of the town or the park where there's more visibility, so cyclists won't be running down pedestrians very often, actually not at all. You can also climb there, but if you're going to climb, you've got to have proper equipment, know how to use it, and you've got to be registered in the garden so that they know you're there and you know what you're doing. Speaking of registrations, if you're thinking about Colorado Springs and Colorado as a marijuana town, you've come to the right place. But in Colorado Springs, the city council is not allowed what we call recreational sales. So if you have a medical license from the state, which isn't too hard to get, you do need a physician's approval and fill out an easy form. It's only $24 or something. And you can get yourself a medical marijuana license, and then you're set to buy from any of the stores in Colorado Springs. If you don't want to go that route or can't qualify, and you're still interested in it, there are recreational marijuana shops throughout the state. And the nearest ones, there's a couple of them in our neighboring city right up the hill of Manitou Springs. One thing you should know is it's illegal to smoke in public. You can't smoke in your car. They obviously don't want you driving when you're high, so take all that into serious consideration. #10 thing you should know is this is a serious military town. We've got Peterson Air Force Base with the 21st Space Wing, Schriever Air Force Base with the 50th Space Wing. These are both parts of the new Space Command that many cities are vying for, but right now I think we've got a 5-year lock on it, and those two Air Force bases are headquarters for parts of it. We also have the Air Force Academy, and we've got NORAD, the North American Air Defense Command, which is built into bunkers underneath Cheyenne Mountain. Quite a tour if you can ever get into there. There's lots of retired military here. There's lots of military discounts on everything. So if you're military, definitely take advantage of that. Lots of sirs and ma'ams and short haircuts as well, and not just mine. Number 11 is be sure and drink a lot of water. You've got to keep hydrated. You're at 6,000 feet, and it's really easy to get an altitude headache. The humidity is only in the teens often, and you really need to keep drinking a lot of water. They say up to 8 cups a day is a good idea, and that does not count beer or wine. Just water, tea, and coffee I think would count as well. It's a number 12 thing to know is a little bit about the politics. This is definitely a conservative town, a right-wing town, probably the most conservative town in Colorado, and one of the most red cities in the entire country. Even though Colorado as a state has gone from red to purple, and now it's pretty much blue, Colorado Springs is still solidly conservative. In the last election for president, there was 34% Democrat, Republican, or registrations. 56% were Republicans, and 10% were independents. Sorry. It's getting a little more balanced now as people are coming in from more liberal states like California, and things are loosening up a little. It's not quite so red as it was, and everybody is, of course, welcome. Number 13 is what you should know about the weather, the climate, as they say. If you don't like it here, wait 10 minutes. And I'm wondering, do they say that where you come from too? Is that everywhere? Probably not Hawaii or San Diego, but anyway, here it's very true. Right now we're getting about an average of 16 inches of precipitation. That's between rain and what melts off the average 39 inches of snow we get every year. The hottest month is July. It averages 85 degrees, although here we are towards the end of August and it's in the upper 90s. But this is a particularly hot month, so don't go by that necessarily. The wettest month is August, with a little over 3 inches of rain every year on average. The coldest month is in December, but still the high average is 42 degrees and the low is only 17. So although we may have many days we don't get above freezing and a few days below zero, overall it's really not too bad. And even with that snow, we never get a whole bunch at once, so it's not too hard to take care of, and you'll get a sunny day right afterwards to melt it back, and it's beautiful blue skies against the white mountains. Quite spectacular. Number 14 is one of the best known festivals in Colorado Springs. It's the annual Hot Air Balloon Festival that takes place over the Labor Day weekend. Normally it's in Memorial Park, which is right in the middle of town, and it's a huge park which can accommodate all these balloons, and lots of spectators come from all over the region to see this thing. And it's a lot of fun. It's beautiful. It starts up before dawn every morning, so people get there, park a block or so away and walk into the park. This year, because of COVID, it's going to be a little different. There will be nothing in Memorial Park, but there will be launches from all over the city. So wherever you are on Labor Day weekend, look up in the morning, you'll see lots of hot air balloons going off. And in one of the evenings, they will try to do a pop-up balloon glow where they light them up at night just for your dining and dancing pleasure. It's really pretty to see. There's also an outfit that will sell you a balloon ride, but you better sign up soon for this Labor Day because that will get booked. And the last thing that I promised was the secret that we all use so we know what the heck we're talking about. If somebody says, go north 3 blocks and then turn east, do you know how to do that? Well, If you face the mountains, face Pikes Peak, you are looking west. Everything we know is the mountains are to the west. So if you're facing west, your right arm will be pointing to the north, left arm will point to the south, and behind you is the east. So that's the local secret to know how to get around. So if you like stuff like this, be sure and hit the subscribe button and hit that bell so you get notified every week of our new videos. Be sure and give me a call or a text or an email if I can help you with anything. And love to help you move to Colorado Springs.